Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling slightly more human, but still under the weather. But I wanted to bring you a couple of quick videos adding to our budget pencil series. So, I haven't coloured in this. I don't think I've done it on screen. So I thought we'd do a page in the ink house with our Amazon Basics pencils. Now we tested those, the last colour with me, we tested them on Colour in Haven paper, and they worked beautifully. Now, Rory Dobner's book, this is a hardback book by the incredible artist Rory Dobner. I've done a few pages in here, but I've got it clipped shut so that it'll, one I did very early on with very, very bad inking. But this was Inktense. What else have I done? Not a lot. Not as much as I would like. And of course, the other ones that I've done are at the back of the book. But what I thought we'd do today is this little octopus page. Now, I was inspired by a picture I did ages ago in my Mandalas Gone Wild book. And I did a page in there and put it on Instagram, and people really loved it. So he is going to be very unusual colours. He's going to be blues into teals. Yes, he is. And then the ship, more traditional colours. So we're going to be using all Amazon Basic pencils apart from the background, which I'm going to turn into a mirror because it's a bathroom sink. So behind him, I'm just going to use nothing fancy schmancy, just a Uniball Signo, and this is, does it say? Just a silver, just a plain old silver. Doesn't say what nib size it is, does it, anywhere? I would suspect that it's a one nib, you know, a 1-0 nib, because of the flow on it. So all I am going to do is colour in very carefully. The flow on this is incredible. So if you are going to invest in a decent silver gel pen, it's very wide, so it's perfect for filling in spaces like this. But yeah, this would be a really good investment if you're looking for one. I don't think that individually they're very expensive, £3 or £4 I think, but the sheen off them when they're dry is just amazing. And if you miss any bits out, you can always go back in afterwards and just go over it. So I'm just going to do this bit, and then I'll do the rest off camera so it's done. I just wanted to show you, in case you don't have one, you don't know what they look like. So it's still part of our budget series. So instead of you using my posh watercolour paints, which I would normally use the Art Spirits, Rebecca's True Silver, which is incredible paint, I thought I'll stick with the budget and we'll use a really good gel pen. Okay, there we go. And if it's streaky, it doesn't usually dry too streaky, but if it is, I'll go back over it once it's dry, and that should go. But if I hold that up and we can get some light, can you see that? Look at that. So I want it to look like the bathroom mirror behind him. So what I'm going to do is go off and colour that in and let it dry, and then we can come back and do the rest of the page together. See you in a second. Okay, it's done. I've dried it off with my heat gun. Look at that. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, so mirror done. I'm going to make this page as simple as possible, I think. Let me just readjust this clip. I might not even need it actually now. Okay, so let's focus on our octopus. I've got a lot of colours, but I don't want you to stress and worry about it. I'll put them on screen like is usual now on my channel, and we'll just take it one little bit at a time. So let's come in and look at this great big chunky tentacle here. Is that what you call them, or are they tentacles? I don't know. Leg. We're going to take black and just lightly. Now, this is the first time putting the Amazon Basic paper onto pencil, but Rory's paper is awesome. So, but it's very smooth, so we need to see how they're going to perform. So I'm just following Rory's shading. Sorry about the traffic. I do have my window open. It's quite warm and it helps with my chest, which it would seem, touch wood. Where's wood? There we go. Touch wood. The antibiotics have suddenly, finally kicked in. Okay, so we've got black. Now we're going to go in with Prussian blue. I will put names and numbers up on the screen so you can see everything that, all the colours that I've used. I'm going back over those dark colours. Or that black rather. We haven't used any other dark colours yet. I'm going to bring that out. Well, they seem to be coping, don't they, folks? I'm really enjoying this budget pencil series. I hope you are too. I've got to dig out my Brute Funas, the Faber-Castells I want to have a go at. The, what are they called? Goldfarbers. Because you can buy those open stock really quite cheaply. This is blue, just plain old blue. They do seem to be handling it okay at the minute. I'll be devastated if they don't, because I love this book. It's probably not best to practice on a book that you absolutely love. Okay, we've got blue. Now we've got light blue. We're going to go in with that just a little bit. This is just going to give us a transition. So I'm going to go in with our greens and teals. Okay. Right, now we've got jade. So I'm now going to put jade in. Excuse me. So I'm going to put the jade in. I'm going over that pale blue. So I want to really shift that tone there. Okay, we're going to come up here with that jade. I know you're all thinking, what are you doing? You've gone mad, but it just looks so cool. It needs a bit of vibrancy, doesn't it, this page? And now we've got turquoise green. And I'm going over all of that. I'm going to smush and blend those in. And we do know that the Amazon pencil smush and blend from my last one, where we did it on the... What did we do? I think we coloured Gnomes in the Neighbourhood, didn't we? No, not Gnomes in the Neighbourhood. Gnome Sweet Gnome. There we go. And we're going to take that colour right up round here. But I'm going to use light blue for around the edge here. As we get smaller. Kind of let that fade out. And then we're going to go in with our jade green. Yeah, jade green, or just jade it's called. Pull that through. Sorry, thumb in the way. And then a little bit of our light green. Just going to go up in between those tentacles like that. Okay, now we're going to switch up, change colours. I know, don't. You're going to think I'm mental, but it just looks so cool. I have got pink. So we're going to go over those tentacles in pink. Have I missed a little bit of mirror there? I think I might have done. So let's get those tentacles. We can bring that right in to those jade greens. Won't hurt. And we're going to bring that right up around that little tip. Excuse my cough. But I want to do this one and another one so that while I'm away next week, I can schedule them to be released. And you'll have some videos of mine. And it'll be like I'm never away. So I'm just bringing that down onto those. Excuse me. Okay, now I've got carmine. And in the centre of those little suckers, we're going to put that and push it in around them as well. I'll bring it down. And just sort of blend it through. I know you're going to be thinking it's going to go purple, but it actually works really well. So don't worry about it. And then we'll go back in with our pink. And just sort of blend and smush that out. I know, not Lucy's usual colours, are they? I've had such fun with ordering travel size toiletries and things, folks. I've got some really cute shampoos and okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of that darker pink up there, not too much. And then we'll go back in with our pink and we'll just lightly blend that through. And I'm going to pull that into that green. Not that you'll see it much, but okay. Let's push that in there. Okay. One tentacle. I'm not entirely happy with it. I'm not sure. Maybe I should go back in with the black in between. I think that'll probably be better. Is that better? I think we might stand out a little bit more like that. There we go. Right, let's do the actual body part down here. So you can see that we've got light bits in there. So we're going to have to be aware of those. So I'm going to take my black. I'm just going to twizzle you around a little bit. And I'm going in where I want it dark. So at his base, by the sink. And then you can see where Rory's given us this deep shadow. Okay. I think that's a bit of mirror there as well, isn't it? I think so. Okay, so I'm just softening that off so that we can then introduce our Prussian blue. So we're going to go over that with Prussian blue. There we are. They do sound different on this paper. They are not scratchy. So if you're thinking, oh, they sound really scratchy, they're not, I promise you. I think it's probably because the paper lifts up, so you get that like hollow sound. But they're not scratchy. Okay. So just getting enough of that Prussian blue in. Okay, now I'm going to go in with blue. So we're kind of naturally making our highlights there. Oh my gosh, this road. Sorry, folks. Why is it whenever you have nice weather, you always have idiots out on the road that like the whole world to know they've got a motorbike or a stupid loud exhaust? God, I sound so old and grumpy, don't I? So I'm going to bring that round here. Do the same this side. Kind of even that out. And then we've got light blue. So let's go in with that. Yep, they like this paper. So they're going to work on smooth paper. This is such good news. That means books like Joanna Basford's and Kirby's, they're working. I mean, they are a little bit more work. They're not, well, just trying to think. They're not, they're more like, I don't want to say certain pencils that they're like, because that it's such an individual thing, isn't it? Colouring pencils. Okay. I'm going to get that lovely green in there. Just so we've got a bit of light going on. And then we're going in with our turquoise green. So what I'm trying to say is they are not... well, they're easy to colour with. They are easy to colour with. They're just not as easy as, say, Prismas. And that's, I don't know, preference, I suppose, isn't it? I'm not having a problem blending. I'm not having to press too hard. And do you know what? I don't care. For £12, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm going to bring this... The stupid lorry's gone past. Bring that pink back down. Then I'm going in with our turquoise green. And I'm going to push that in with that pink. In there. And then our jade. Push that jade in. And we can even manage to squeeze a little bit of our light blue in. Around there. It's going to look so cool when he's done. Right, now I want to go back in. And I want to deepen up, really darken some of those areas there. And our Prussian blue, which is our darkest. Get that in. Let's bring that up a little bit. And I'm just working my way back through them. Yep, I'm coping really well on this paper. Oh, I'm so excited. That means we can use them for lots of projects. Let's get that in there. We've got to bring that round for this tentacle then. So I'm going back in with black. We've got dark under here. And then I'm just going to follow Rory's shading. So black into Prussian blue. So we want that, like that crease, that fold. Dark there. There we go. We'll bring that just down slightly. Okay. Then our blue. I don't want to put too much because I want to start going into the lighter colours to get to that pink for his tentacles. So this is just blue. And then we're going in with our beautiful jade green. Now we can bring that out. So we can follow that round. And then our turquoise green. And one of the things about this kind of grayscale in these sketchy books, which I adore, colouring books like this, is the shading's done for you. And as soon as you put your pencils on it, it looks like you're the most awesome artist in the world. Okay, so we've got that far. Let's go and have a look at this tentacle again. So we've got carmine. So I'm going to go in just around the, deepen up on the inside of those little suckers. There we go. And then I'm going to take pink and just make sure that we've coloured that and smushed that in. Okay, and then let me try, instead of going in with the dark colour, let's try adding a little bit of that light blue in there. I might erase that off camera and just put the pink in like I'm doing here and put the blue in. Because I think that, and then go in with our turquoise green. I think that looks nicer. What do you think, folks? A deep one? Well, I suppose this one, could stay deep because it's behind, and then we could have this as our light one. Should we carry on and just, let's do it with the light. So I'm putting pink in. Following the suckers, but leaving the white bit, because that will be our turquoise combination. I think that's about right. Like that. Okay, let's go in with our turquoises. So we're going to take blue. I'll just come down there. This is our darkest bit. So I'm just going to use the blue. There we go. Then light blue. That will help us transition into those greens. Then jade. Get enough of that in there. Let's bring that down. And then turquoise green. Let's push that in there. And we put a little bit of blue in between those suckers, didn't we? Let's do that. I like that much better, folks, than that first one we did. So let's go back and get our carmine now. And we'll just shade in them little suckers. Give them some sort of dimension. There we are. He's so cute. I like it. I like the unusual colours that I've chosen. Just going back in with that light blue. Sometimes it's just nice to have something that's not real. Just something, a combination out of this world. Let's put a little bit of blue in there. Oh, I really like that, folks. I'll tell you what, while we're on camera, why don't I try and erase that bit? Well, I would, but in my absolute hellhole of an office, eraser. Why don't you just, let's see what they erase like. Ooh, look at that. Even though I put that black in, that's stripped that right back. Look at that. Well, they erase really good, folks. Take off those shavings. Let's try again. Okay, so I'm going to go back over with my pink. There we go. So we know they erase well. And then we're going to take the blue, didn't I? Went in between with the blue. We'll push a bit more of that jade in as well. Let's push a little bit more of that jade green up there. That's better. That's better. Happier with that. And then we'll get the carmine and just do our little bits of shading. I think what I've done before, I think I put too much carmine in, and you just want that little bit of shadow, not a great blob of carmine in there. What do you think? I'm much happier with that. We're going to go over with pink and just sort of blend it a little bit. There we go. I'll finish that top bit off camera. So, pink. Just make sure there's enough pink on there. There we go. Blend that through. And while I'm here, I stand my Uniball signal upside down. It just seems to flow so much better. So I'm just going to fill in that little bit of mirror. Where else did I say? Do you think that is? I think that might be a little bit of mirror too. There. Okay. All right, folks. I am going to go off. Let's come out properly, Lucy. I'm going to go off and finish our bright blue pink octopus, and then we'll meet back up. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've finished the octopus. I think he looks quite effective. We're going to have a look at this sink before we do it anymore. So I've just got two really simple colours. Thank you to everybody that commented to tell me what colour this blue is. And I still can't pronounce it. I've forgotten, folks. It is... Oh, no, I can't. I just can't. It won't come out. It's the pale blue one. The colour will be on the screen. And my apologies to everybody that tried to help me. I did pronounce it phonetically when people sent it to me, but it's gone. So I'm going in with this beautiful pale blue, and we're just going to lightly, where we've got shade, where RJ has indicated shadow, we're going to put some of this blue in. So I'm going to leave it as a white sink, but it's going to be quite a grungy one. So we want some under here. Like that. We'll put a little bit along that line. So it just sort of brings the features out of the sink. A little bit under this one. And then we're going to come down the edges. See, I'm just doing it really lightly. I just want that hint of colour in there. And down here. There we go. And then we're going to switch to light grey, which is a very pale, perfect for this. And we're going to blend those two in. So we're not obliterating that white. We're just adding some shadow to it. There we are. I don't want to overdo it. I think that that's going to be enough. Okay, that's our sink. Now we're going to look at the tiles, and then we'll do the ship. I said ship. Stop it, you naughty people. Right, I've got silver grey. So I'm going in where RJ's given us... RJ? No, it's not RJ. Different book, different illustrator. It's Rory. So I'm going in where I want it darkest with this beautiful silver grey. And I'm literally just following Rory's incredible work. But I'm just going to fill in that so it's less sketchy and more solid shadow. I'm not going to worry about the chain. I'm going to take a very fine white gel pen and make that stand out. There we go. So we've got silver grey going on. It's a pretty colour, isn't it? It's a really nice cold grey, that one. You see the difference between the two sides? So we've got that nice deep shadow going on in there. We need a little bit in there. Okay, I'm going to do the same this side. And we'll stop where Rory stopped. I'm just fading it out so I can bring the next colour in. Okay, we are going to have a hint of colour, but I just want that dark in there. Okay, now we're going to go back to our, I think it's light grey, is it? Yep, light grey. And we're just going to pull that out a little bit. There we go. Just a tiny bit. And here. And then we mustn't forget our little crab. There we go. And then we're going to add a little smidgen of colour. Just a smidge. Okay, put that light grey in there too. On that skirting board. Okay, now the colour I've selected is cream beige. So it's a very light colour, but it'll give us a hint of... I don't want to colour... I'll give us a hint of colour. Let me finish the sentence I started. I don't want to cover the whole thing. I didn't want it to be sort of... I want the focus to be on the octopus, let's put it that way. So just a hint of colour. And I thought this would be pretty and neutral. And I'm going to go down that skirting board with it. But without, yeah, pretty and neutral without overshadowing the rest of the page. What do you think, folks? I like it. Sort of a peachy tone to it. It'd be good as a skin tone, but I quite like it just to take that stark white off. So that our sink stands out as a little bit more as white as well, which I think has worked. It's a pretty colour, isn't it? Okay, I think that's enough. I think we just want those hints of colour. I don't want to overwhelm the page with it. So let's go and have a look at our ship. Stop swearing, people. Now stop it. We don't do swearing on the channel. Okay. I have got very dark slate grey. I'm just going to twizzle you around a bit. So right at the base of the ship and round our octopus, I'm going to put that slate grey. Also up here where it's nice and dark and deep. There. Okay, then we've got Van Dyke Brown, which is brown, but not quite as deep as I would have wanted it. So I'm going in with the Van Dyke Brown. I'm going to go over that, tidy that up a little bit. I'm going to go over that. Okay. So everywhere I want it a little bit darker, emphasise under that line. I'm using Van Dyke Brown. Excuse me. Oh, bless my soul. Sorry, folks. Okay, now I'm going to put in a little bit of brown because it's got a red hue to it. So it'll kind of change that up and give us a more wood effect. We'll bring that along there. It's quite difficult because it's such a teeny tiny space. And then we're going to put in the beautiful brown ochre. It's a really pretty colour in this set, brown ochre. Okay. And then we're going to take sand. And I'm just going to go over those stripes. Okay. Then we can go in with that slate grey anywhere that I just want to emphasise those stripes a bit more. Okay. Okay, not going to dwell too long on it. I think that looks quite cool. And then we've got the sails. So, what did I use? I used brown ochre and sand, I think. Yes. Okay. So brown ochre. We're going to pick out where we want the dark parts. So a little bit in there. So I'm going to do it around the base of this one. Okay, behind here. Just really lightly. Okay, and then I'm going in with sand. I hope we can do smushing. Yeah, the smushing. I'm going to bring that sand up lightly. There we go. So we've got a sort of creamy, dirty sail. And I'm just going to use the white just to make it sure it's clean, Lucy, first. I'm just going to use the white as a blender to smush those colours in. There we go. And we can go back in with that cream, sand, sorry. There we go. All right, let's do another one. So we're going to do it darker under here. This, when I was saying earlier about them, it being a little harder for colours like this, where prismas would just literally smush together, you have to work a little bit harder at getting that blend right. But they do it, it's just being a little bit more patient. There we are. Okay, and then we've got, that's part of a cell. Thought I'd missed something out. Okay, we're going to do the little crab down the bottom now. And I'm going to do that in browns. So I'm going to take the Van Dyke brown, the brown ochre, and sand. So I'm going to take the sand and I am going to coat his little body all in sand. Here we are. We've got a nice wax base to build on. Then our next lightest colour is the brown ochre. So I'm just going to fill these little areas in, leaving some of our sand showing. It's quite difficult because he is so teeny tiny. So I'm just going to do it the best I can. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll go in with our darker colour, which is Van Dyke brown, and we'll put that detailing back in that Rory's given us. Because he's so tiny, otherwise I would lose it all, so I have to be quite careful. Do around his little legs down here. And then we're going to add a little tiny bit. I know he's not cooked, but we're going to add a little tiny bit of pink. Okay, tiny bit of the pink, just normal pink. And we'll plop that in. Let's add a little bit of that carmine as well to that Van Dyke brown. There we go. A little bit of carmine. He's not cooked, nor is he going to be cooked. He's going to live his life happily without being cooked at the ink house that Rory's provided for him. There. But I just need him to be a little brighter. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go off and finish the sails. and then we'll come back and I'll have a look at this chain. I don't know whether I'm just going to get a silver pen and go over it, or if I'm just going to leave it white. I shall see. See you in a second. Right, done the sails. One thing's left, and I thought we would just experiment quickly. Now, we haven't used any of the metallics at all so far, so I've got the gold out, and I thought what we would do is colour round the chain. Bear with me on this, because they're not very metallic-y. So we'll see what this looks like, and then just so it stands out really away from the rest, because we did that grey. Because we did the grey tiles. We'll see. It's hard to see in this light. So I'm just going round here. What do we think? It's just not very metallic-y. Although it does stand out, it's just not very metallic-y, is it? So, do we just leave alone? I think we should just leave alone. I was going to add other colours to it, but it's so tiny. And as long as it stands out, you could do your silver if you wanted. But I just wanted to test the metallics. Let's see. It would help if I got rid of all my pencil marks on it. Shiny? Not really, but I quite like it. We'll just leave it as the gold, I think. Now here, up here, I'd coloured over that, so you could either just colour straight over it, or I just used a white gel pen to go over it. So let's come out and have a look. Hopefully you've enjoyed a really quick, lovely page. I'm going to try and get another couple in of quick colouring pages with, so we've done Amazon Basics on decent paper. I think we should now do the, what are they called? The black edition ones on decent paper as well, to give it a fair shot. And then we're going to try the gold Faber after that, because Kevin brought me a set of those a while ago, so we can have a go with those. So I hope you've enjoyed this little quick page. I've loved it. I forgot how much I enjoyed colouring in this little book. So yes, my word, a wild octopus, but I think it's quite nice to have a bit of fun sometimes, isn't it, with it? So there we are. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I'll go and let my voice have a rest. So until we meet again in the next few days with who knows what I will come up with for a quick colouring with our black edition pencils. Take really good care of yourselves, my friends. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.